The world's most fascinating people are right here on Spotlight Radio.
And we are back with Spotlight Radio guest Sharon Caron. Welcome to Spotlight Radio. I have Sharon Caron of Sharon The Health here in the studio this evening. She is a natural health practitioner, nutrition advisor, and healer, educating and specializing in the use of therapeutic-grade Young Living essential oils.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here with us today. We have a great show in store for you. Last time we talked about ways that Young Living products and the biocommunication body scan can improve your health. And now we're going to talk about health again, but first, focus on the health of your bank account. I know that you might be excited to learn about how you can make a business out of Young Living, just as I have. I've been working with this amazing company since 1999, and it's been wonderful and a life-changing experience. Not only have I greatly improved my own health and well-being, but I've profited handsomely too. And isn't that the greatest combination? Now, I have to tell you that I haven't become the success that I am on my own. There's really no such thing as a self-made man or woman, for that matter. Everyone succeeds with a team. One key member of my team is with me on the show, and I'm going to introduce him to you now. Michael Neuendorf, the growth coach, is a business coach, and he's my coach. He helps people like me to really look at their business from a higher level and think strategically and plan long term. The brand you see, Sharon The Health, has become infinitely stronger due to my direct work with Michael and his programs. Therefore, I thought it a good idea to bring him on the show to talk with you directly. Welcome, Michael.
Hi, Sharon. I'm glad to be with you on your show. I'm humbled by your introduction. It's so nice and flattering. I really appreciate it. And it's nice to meet you too, Jessica.
Likewise.
Yes, Michael, I'm glad you're here too, because I know you have some great ideas to share with my audience on how they can be successful in direct marketing as a business owner.
I think so. I've worked with a number of people in direct marketing over the years, and I think that I have some key principles to share that can really help your listeners. And I want to just share some things that are fundamental to success and really apply to any business, but for the sake of this conversation, we're really focused on direct marketing. So can we just get right into it?
Of course. Go right ahead, Michael.
Okay, so let me start with my first principle, and that is that you must treat your Young Living essential oils business like a business and not a hobby. Now, I know that people oftentimes get into direct marketing as a sideline to begin with. They were introduced to a product by someone that they know, someone that they appreciate and care for, and they like the products, and they found that they can actually start to resell the products and create a sideline business. But at some point, you might realize that the opportunity is bigger than you initially thought. And this business could actually become something really significant, especially with the residual income opportunities that could last for a lifetime. So once you realize that, then the key mindset that needs to shift is that this is no longer a hobby, it's not a sideline, but this is a business. It's a business just like any other business, a business that you would walk into, a business that you might shop at online, a business where you would hire a service professional come to your home. There are many different services that are businesses, and this happens to be one, and it just happens to be direct marketing, but it's still a business model. So I hope that people will think about that big shift that needs to happen and start thinking about it not as a hobby, but as a business.
Absolutely, Michael. I have to tell you, this has never been a big problem for me, but I have seen many who think they can just do this on the side and do great. It's not that no one has ever done it, but it's really hard to succeed when you don't act like a business owner and speak to others about the products with confidence from a business owner's perspective.
And Michael, I agree with you with this point. Can you give us an example of someone you've seen change her perspective and prosper?
Sure, Jessica, I can. There was a woman I worked with, and we'll call her Felicia for the sake of this story. And Felicia had once been quite successful in direct marketing and had built up a really strong team and was really enjoying the benefits of a thriving business. At some point, something changed, and her business started to stagnate and actually go the other direction and was starting to slip and fall. And she really didn't want to see that happen any longer because she knew that inside she had it within her to be successful, and yet she couldn't really understand what was happening So she came to me for an outsider's perspective. Once we started working together, what I realized was happening is that Felicia's mindset had changed, and she was starting to treat it like a sideline again. She had some issues with sleep sometimes. She had some personal problems that were going on. And to tell you the truth, a lot of people in America have sleep issues or they have personal problems. I mean, this wasn't unique to Felicia's life. And from my perspective, what I saw is that she was not allowing her mind to overcome these issues that she was encountering in her life, and she had lost sight of the fact that she owned a business, and she was creating lots of excuses for why she couldn't work. She was too tired, or she was unhappy, or she just didn't feel like it. Well, as a business owner, I can tell you that there are days where I don't feel like it, or I've had a bad day the day before, but I just come back punching and swinging and go for it again. I mean, every day is a new opportunity for a business owner, and you have to stop making excuses and really just go for it. Once that started to happen for her, then things started to change. She started to regain her past confidence because new customers started coming to her, new people who wanted to be distributors, and her direct marketing empire was coming back, and she started becoming very successful once again.
What a great story. Now, I want to share a principle I believe in and I really think helps make your first principle easier.
Oh, tell me what that is, Sharon. I'd love to hear it.
I believe you need to be really passionate about the products and use them. We need to be a product of the product.
Well, I know that that's true in your life because you've recommended some of those products to me, and they've made a difference in my life and also in my wife's life. And so I know that you really are passionate about your products, and I think it really does make a big difference because when you're passionate, then it's easier to cut through those excuses. I told you that Felicia had some excuses in her life that were getting in her way, but once you start having real strong passion, then it kind of directs your energy in a positive, focused direction. So without it, it would be pretty hard to treat your business like a business, and you would let these little stumbling blocks that come along the way block you. So one thing I'd like to shift to now is share principle number 2 about selling. Can I talk about the importance of having a sales and marketing mindset?
Ooh, this one wasn't too easy for me in the beginning, but I really get it now. Tell us more about that.
Yes, I'm interested to know what you mean.
Sure. Let me expand for both of you. So we have a saying in the coaching business, and it goes like this. As a business owner, you're actually a sales and marketing person who happens to, and then you fill in the blank, whether it's paint, make websites, provide completely natural, medicinal-grade essential oils. Hey, that sounded pretty good, huh? I think I'm learning here, Sharon. Now, this is a startling concept to most business people when they first hear it because they don't think that way, and many people in business have never had a sales or marketing job before.
I have to tell you that this concept has helped me a great deal. Now, mind you, I'm still Sharon The Health, healer, educator, and writer, but guess what? If I don't sell and market from my heart, there will be no one to heal, no one to educate, or no one to write for.
You got it, Sharon. I know you understand it now.
So that makes sense to me. How do people struggle with this?
Sure. So let me explain, because I know that you understand it now, Sharon, but I know that there are still a lot of people on the call, on this show, that don't get it. So let me explain. People struggle because their identity is so tied to what they do that they have a hard time looking at themselves as a salesperson. You know, they think I'm the owner of a company, or I'm a website developer, or I'm a florist. I'm not a salesperson, and I'm certainly not a marketer. And also, don't forget that the typical perception of a salesperson is that they are, what do you think, Jessica?
Slimy, pushy, and manipulative?
Well, actually, it's funny that you say that because every time I speak to a group and I ask them what's the first word that they think of when they think of the word salesperson, pushy is often the one that comes out. And when I push them a little bit more, then slimy comes out, manipulative comes out, maybe unethical comes out. And so when you have that kind of connotation in people's minds, you can see why they would have a hard time with this. And on the marketing side, do you think the average person thinks they're creative?
I can tell you right now that I don't feel I'm very creative.
Well, hang on just a second, Sharon. That's how you used to feel. You are creative now. Think of all of the wonderful marketing work that you've done in the past since we've been working together. For example, your new website. You did that.
Okay. I didn't really think that creating my new website was actually marketing. So I guess I can be creative at times.
Well, it's true. You might not have thought it that way. You thought of it as a big, hairy, giant project that took us a little while and a little bit of effort to get done. But the reality is that you were very creative all along the way in creating that wonderful website that people can go to now. So you're very creative. So it's important that people attach a good connotation to sales and marketing, that salespeople aren't pushy, that marketing people aren't the super creative ones and I can't be creative, because looking at ourselves these ways are extremely important. The reality is that the streets are lined with people who couldn't get this concept that they are sales and marketing people who happen to own a business that provides fill in the blank, and those people have failed in business.
My number 2 principle is that you must be excited about helping others and love doing that just as well. Doesn't that also complement your point, Michael?
It does, because it helps you to start to change your connotation and the attachments that you put to the word sales and marketing. If you want to help more people, then get good at sales and marketing, and you'll never have to stop. If it helps, look at sales and marketing as just a way to show people how excited you are to help them. That's what it really boils down to, being excited about helping people with the products and services that you have.
How wonderful. This is why I love working with you. You make it so easy for me. We need to wrap it up now. So what's principle number 3, your principle number 3?
Okay, sure. Principle number 3 is that you must have long-term focus. Unless you can set long-term goals in writing and then break them down to short-term projects that support those goals, you'll struggle to succeed in business.
Yes, and it may be my most difficult task. Why is that?
Well, you're not alone, Sharon. The reality is, in this day and age, the world is on information overload. We're constantly bombarded with distraction all throughout the day. And unless we're able to see past our daily distractions and focus on the long-term goals that we've set for ourselves, the ones that really matter, we'll get caught up in the trivial day-to-day stuff that doesn't make a big difference in our business. You know what I mean? It really helps us to focus on our priorities. One of the books that I've recommended to my clients is the 80-20 principle. The concept behind the 80-20 principle is that 20% of what you focus on will bring 80% of your results, and those are your long-term goals. They take more work, they take more effort, but they provide such meaningful results for your business.
Well, I certainly know what you mean, because you've been forcing me to write down my goals for more than 2 years now.
Well, that has been a pretty long time, but it's helped you a ton, hasn't it?
Honestly, Michael, you wouldn't be here if not.
Wow, Sharon, I didn't know you were so strategic. That's really something. I think I heard some time back that only about 5% of people write down their goals on a regular basis.
I'm sure that's true, Jessica. Hardly anyone does it. Long-term focus is created by doing just that, and it really, really keeps me on track.
Yes. Sharon, you've become such a great example of how to run a business strategically and hit your goals.
Thank you, Michael, and being on the radio show was one of them. I would like a little more time off, though. I've been really busy.
Well, that's what happens when you start doing things right and following principles 1, 2, and 3, is that you become more successful than you could imagine. So we're working on getting you more time off, I promise you.
Yes, we are working on that. And if you would like to learn more about Michael and what he does, then I would highly encourage you to go to his website at buildandbalance.com, join his newsletter, and just think about how you might work with him. Every person I've referred to Michael thinks he's really special.
Well, thank you so much, Sharon. It's really been a joy being on your show. I appreciate being your guest. And thank you, Jessica. It was a pleasure being here with you, too.
Thanks, Michael. I enjoyed the conversation. You definitely know your stuff.
All right, everyone, that was great. I really like Michael, and frankly, I don't know what I would do without him. Jessica, thanks so much for hosting the show, and I look forward to our next one in a couple of weeks. Would you now tell the folks how to reach us?
Sure. We've just heard from Michael Neuendorf, the Growth Coach, and he can be reached via email at michael@buildandbalance.com. That's michael@buildandbalance.com, and by phone 650-373-2022. Also, check out his website, www.buildandbalance.com. You can reach Sharon Karen at her website, SharonTheHealth.com. Sharon spells SHARON, thehealth.com, or by phone 650-359-6579 to find out more about building your home-based business with Young Living. Also, Sharon has a radio show special for you listeners. There's a hidden page on her site. Here is the radio show link just for you, your family, and friends. www.sharonthehealth.com/radio-page to receive your free 30-minute business building consultation with her. Thank you two so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure, Michael and Sharon.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was a pleasure.
And thank you. You're welcome. And you've been listening to Spotlight Radio with special guest Sharon Karen. Tune in every day to hear from the most interesting people on SpotlightRadio.com.
The world's most fascinating people are right here on Spotlight Radio.